listening to the Money Mike's syndicated radio podcast. We're coming to you. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. So for those of you who are used to Money Mike, you know what we say. We're going to get you on your way to a beautiful day. And today we're going to break it down for you. We have the Jets Aaron Rodgers, a man with a purpose. He'll be back. And folks, as we get started, man, it's a good one. I hear a lot of things talked about Aaron Rodgers. I hear a lot of people say a lot of things about Aaron Rodgers. I hear a lot of people have opinions about Aaron Rodgers. But one of the things Money Mike promised you, I'll give you the secret truth, the uncut truth, or I'll take you behind the scenes. And when I look at Aaron Rodgers, a man with a purpose, he'll be back. That's exactly what he's going to do, folks. And the history, and you guys know I'm not an analytics person. I'm a people person. I believe in what a person does, what their purpose is, and how their relationship to life is. And I'm going to turn you guys on to a couple things that some of you know, but there's a lot of you don't know, and you've been told the wrong information about Aaron Rodgers. You see him on the Pat McAfee, he'll tell you they don't know blank. So the story, as it goes back, and for me, it goes way back, for Aaron and the family, you got Ed Rodgers, Darla, you got Luke, you got Aaron, and you got Jordan, okay? And Ed Rodgers, super person, as far as mom, Rodgers' mom. Ed, I don't know how you got so lucky, but you did, so congratulations. But here's the thing about the Rodgers family, and I hear Jordan and that's just little brother, okay? Because the Rodgers family is like the McCarthys. If you look at the McCarthys, you're going to get a good idea of what the Rodgers family is like. And when you look at the bond and the closeness, and I hear people say these different things, and don't get me wrong, I hear you, Jordan, but that's just Jordan being little brother. And I know what that's like because I'm the baby brother in my family. And you always, who wants to go for the rest of their life going, you're Aaron Rodgers' little brother? I don't blame you, Jordan. I know how you are. I know how you think. I know how you play football. So I know that wasn't something of your intention, but it happened, okay? So let's take you back. When I first met the Rodgers, I met Ed Rodgers. Ed Rodgers put an AAU basketball team together, and it was in the 5th grade. Jordan Rodgers was on that team. My son was on that team, and we played AAU basketball together. And as life progressed, one of the things I knew and I was able to find out about Aaron is, man, that guy's a coach. And he loves coaching, right? So when you get into it, you look at it, and for Luke, man, I don't know the inside. We haven't talked, but I know your personality, Luke, and I thank you for being a confidant in this situation because obviously, brothers and sisters, we fight. If you get together, we had 7. Just lost my sister. She's gone on, got promoted. But we fight. That's what families do. So when you look at that and you look at what you hear, folks, don't believe what you hear because what you're hearing is not true. Okay, and this situation started a long time ago. As I said, my son, Michael Walker Jr., Jordan Rodgers, same AAU team, Ed put that together. But we progressed a little bit further because all these guys the Chico crew went to Marsh. And they went to Marsh Junior High and they played basketball. And this is when I really got an understanding of the mentality of Aaron Rodgers and the thought process of Aaron Rodgers. Because we had a battle, Marsh, Chico Jr., and let me get it to you right. Folks, Chico crushed us. I mean, Chico Jr. crushed us. They had some good players, and they just beat the living daylights, but Aaron took all the beatings. And I said, hey, you know what? Can I talk to you for a minute, Aaron? And I know a lot about basketball, but I didn't know he knew that much about basketball. I didn't know he knew that much about coaching. So I said, hey, they're running this defense. You might want to try this. I shared it with him one time. And when I went to show him again, he said, Mike, I already got that. So his mind is on the level, I would say like Elon Musk. Okay, very, very intelligent. scored extremely high on the SAT, and I'll tell you what, if he missed anything, he can go back, he can ace it. He could have went to Wharton School of Business, Aaron Rodgers. Could have been an orthopedic surgeon, Aaron Rodgers. And please understand why I know he's going to be back bigger and stronger, because Ed Rodgers is a chiropractor. Okay, they know the body. He knows the body real well. He knows how to put things and get the body to loosen up, and he knows how to get the body to heal. But folks, here's what I'm going to tell you about guys who play in the NFL. There's two things that people need to know. One, you have to have a master's degree as a player. And two, they know their bodies better than a doctor. So the doctor can't really tell them, and you got to really watch this closely, because when a person knows what type of treatment they need, the doctor can't speculate on it. And it's not, let's face it. He tore the Achilles. He's not like us. He's an NFL player, $60 million a year. We're going to go see one doctor, maybe two. Man, they got 15 guys on this. And the recovery is going to be so fast, because when you know your body as an NFL player, which Aaron Rodgers does, and he knows what works for his body. And we've been through everything as far as the virus, everything of how he's going to do it differently. And folks, anybody who knows or played in this NFL knows that you got to get away and you got to go into deep darkness, because you got to find that soul. Because one thing I do know, losing is unacceptable to Aaron Rodgers. And when you get in a bad situation and you have to work with a bad situation, and that's what the Green Bay Packers organization did, because they don't really have an owner. And when you don't have an owner and you're leaving it up to the general manager, and these guys screwed it up. And I listened to the general manager with the Green Bay Packers, because he's confused. And I'll tell you this, I'm not a fan of Matt LaFleur. When he first came in with Aaron Rodgers talking about no audibles, I said, this is done. You don't need to talk to me anymore. I don't need to listen to you. Because coaches can screw stuff up, and they do it all the time. And when you got a mind like Aaron, and I'm not talking about any quarterback mind, and folks, I'll take you to the bottom of the river when people bring up who's better, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Folks, that's not even close. Okay, that's not even close. Okay, you got one issue where you got Belichick sitting in the middle of that, and you got the greatest defensive coach who ever played. He's got 9 Super Bowls. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, what did Tom Brady have? When you compare the two, Aaron was on a feast and famine in Green Bay. They never drafted any offensive players. They never got him a first-round wide receiver. They never got him a first-round tight end. All they did was spend 15, 18 years trying to fix a defense. And folks, when a player comes in, and you got that good of a player, and I tell you guys about Chase Young, and you guys didn't believe it, but when Woodson went to the Packers, okay, you got to understand, Michigan, Woodson, the DB went to Packers. I tell you folks, one player can change your entire team and take you to the Super Bowl. And there's 2 programs I want you to watch, because these are the best that I can give you. I recommend all fans out there, if you love football, watch Hard Knocks and watch the NFL America's Game. Those are the 2. NFL Hard Knocks, America's Game is going to take you behind the scenes. And it's going to let you know what is actually going on. So that was my early experience with Aaron. But then we went a little bit further. He came out, and this growth spurt, I don't know what it is with the Rodgers, I'll tell you. And Ed, and if you listen to this, I have no idea. What happens is these guys go through, and they'll be about 5'7" in 9th grade. And they'll go up, and they'll maybe get to 5'8", 5'9", okay, when they get to be a sophomore and a junior. And this may be one of the reasons that Aaron didn't get recruited or didn't get a scholarship coming out of high school. I think he had a small school one, but it wasn't worth taking, and he had some choices to make. But that growth spurt, okay, when you go from 5'10" to 6'2", okay, when you're a senior or first-year junior college, and you look at Jordan Rodgers entering in the 9th grade at 5'6", guys like 6'3", okay, they grow in high school, okay, so that's a genetics thing. I don't know how they do it, but that's what happened. But then when you take it over to Butte College, okay, because he had choices, and of course, as you know, I played for George Rush City College in San Francisco. I highly recommend it. You go there. However, he had a different plan because he had a coach sitting right here that, man, what a mind he has. I'm talking about Craig Rigsby. Okay, folks, I'm going to tell you about Craig Rigsby, and I'm going to tell you one of the things that I believe, in my opinion, why Aaron will get on there and say Butte College, okay? He doesn't say Cal, okay? Because of the coaching of Craig Rigsby. And I first met Riggs, Chico State football, came out 83. He was the offensive line coach, just finished playing ball at Chico at Utah State. And this guy is a machine, okay? And when I talk about good coaches, and you look at the offensive mind of Riggs, you look at the line protection. I mean, guys, this guy, Craig Rigsby, Aaron Rodgers Junior College coach, has coached 2 Hall of Famers. He's coached a plethora of guys that have went to the NFL. But when I say 2 Hall of Famers, let's put it in perspective, folks. You're talking about Larry Allen, Butte College. Okay, Larry Allen goes to Sonoma State. Some of you don't even know where Sonoma State is. It's in Napa Valley, and once upon a time they had a football program, okay? But Larry Allen comes out of Butte College. Craig Rigsby put it in, goes on. Guess what? Okay, Hall of Famer. Finished up with the Niners, okay? Good family. Dakari Allen, the Allens, that's a great family, man. And when you get around good coaches, Larry Allen had the best offensive line coach, okay? So not only did Craig Rigsby, he's coached Aaron Rodgers, which is going to be first ballot Hall of Famer, okay? But he's had a couple sons, okay? And one thing about Riggs, you go over there, you have dinner in his house, got a weight room in his house, okay? So the Rigsbys, his 2 sons, both went on scholarship to Cal. One went up to the Carolina Panthers, and, he just faced some injury bug. But when you talk about a coach, Rigsby's that coach, okay? And then I had a second tour with Rigsby where coached Pleasant Valley High School, senior year, 2007, from Jordan Rodgers. He was the quarterback. And I understand what Riggs really meant, taught me a lot about coaching. And the one thing he taught me was stay in your area. Okay, and that's what a lot of coaches don't know how to do, is when you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's telling the coaches, stay in your area, okay? You are a rookie. I've been playing in this league for 17 years. Jordan LaFleur, you come in, no respect. Your offense means 0, okay? And I love Brady, and I'm going to give you that comparison, but Brady's not even close. And analytics is out there to tell you how bad it is. You can compare the completions, the yardage, everything. Why don't analytics do me a favor and you go back and look at the entire career of Tom Brady, how many drops he had, and you look at the entire career of Aaron Rodgers, how many drops he had, okay? I'm going to tell you, boy, there's never been a quarterback that can put it on the money, okay? I only got one other guy, and I don't know why they did it. For the life of me, I don't know why Mike Nolan and Trent Baalke made the mistake to not draft Aaron Rodgers. This has been the haunt of our entire organization. He was sitting right there at Cal. I watched him play against USC, outduel Matt Reinhardt, okay, 23 straight passes. I think they recorded 20, but folks, at that game right there, Aaron threw 23 straight, and the last 3 passes went right through the receiver's hands. Okay, one of them, the receiver stopped. He was wide open. He didn't think he could throw the ball too far. But the thing about Cal is another great coach. Okay, and I'm talking to this about Rodgers and coaches because when a guy's had good coaching for a long time, let me tell you something, folks. It's hard to go play for terrible coaches. And a lot of these coaches in the NFL, they're good people. They're good human beings. And folks, please understand when I talk about them, I'm not talking about them as a person. They're a public figure trying to do a job. They're in the media, that's open scrutiny. And some of these guys don't get it, okay? And that's what happened with Aaron Rodgers. As you know, he went to Cal. Simple stuff, Jet Tedford, okay? Again, there's a connection. Was offensive coordinator for Mike Bellotti. I told you Mike Bellotti coached at Chico State. But here's a connection with Jeff Tedford. He gets the Cal job. Comes out, Butte College, he wants Garrett Cross, the tight end. He loves Rodgers at the quarterback. Okay, Craig, I want this guy. Craig says, okay, that's the Cal connection. Plus, when your sons get ready, send them down to Cal too. But here's the deal, okay? Tedford had the most complicated playbook that anybody had ever seen. And when Aaron Rodgers showed up, he was supposed to sit, not be ready. That's not how Aaron Rodgers does. This is a man with a purpose. He walked into Cal, figured out Jeff Tedford's playbook, okay, and he did it in about 60, 90 days, and he added on to his playbook. So there was one play, I've watched Cal play, you're looking at it, you got a single high safety, this coverage. He goes the opposite way. Touchdown. First thing Jet Tedford does, he goes sprinting. I've never seen Tedford run so fast, okay? And he goes straight into Aaron. What the heck are you doing? Why did you go there? Aaron says, hey, this is what I saw. This is what I did. That's why I went there. And guess what? Tedford couldn't do anything but turn around and walk away, okay? And I wanted to validate that, so when I saw him at the Pleasant Valley game, Jordan Rodgers, quarterback, I said, hey, man, what happened on that play? He told me, hey, this is what he saw. This is what I saw. He wanted the play to go one way. I saw it a different way. And that's what Aaron Rodgers does. And folks, I'll tell you, you may not believe it, but a lot of times you're going to figure all this stuff is simple, but it's not, okay? And coaches, if they don't understand a quarterback's mind, and what I'm saying is you got Tom Brady. You don't need a coach. You got Peyton Manning. You don't need a coach, okay? You got to understand these guys who are doing it for a long time, their greatness, they're ready to be coached. I have no idea why Peyton Manning is sitting up there doing a TV show should be a coach. I believe when Aaron Rodgers gets done playing ball, he'll be an NFL head coach. And there's no doubt about it. So you got Craig Rigsby. Remember, junior college, 2 Hall of Famers. You got Jeff Tedford. And so you get to the mountaintop, and you walk in there, and he walks in the draft room. Okay, and he's supposed to go number 1. The 49ers said they're going to go number 1. It's the worst day I've ever had in my life. Okay, in the NFL as coaching is why in the world would you not take somebody in your own backyard? Okay, and again, I'm looking here, Mike Nolan. I get it. Trent Baalke, man, you blew that one, but you cost us. Okay, and the only other team did something like that was the Miami Dolphins. This is the only other quarterback I believe can spin it better than there. That's Dan Marino. Pittsburgh Steelers. You had Dan Marino sitting in your backyard, and what do? You don't draft him. These guys, I'm telling you, these guys in the NFL, they outsmart themselves. And you can't believe, here this guy comes out, rookie, Miami Dolphin, throws for 5,000 yards, had the same challenge, okay? Same challenge Aaron had. Okay, the offense is superior. Duper and Clayton were getting it done, but you can't get a defense. It doesn't really make sense, and this is why I will always tell you Tom Brady's not the GOAT. Okay, I'm always going to rock and roll with my defensive guys. And as long as I look at that Patriots rosters of the time he won Super Bowls, folks, go look back and see how many Hall of Fame defensive players he had. Aaron never had that. So you can't compare the championship. You can't compare one guy sitting in the box calling the defense and another guy getting new coaches every year. Okay, Don Capers got it done 1 year. But those other coaches, they didn't get it done. And for the life of me, I do not know why. That's just how the mind works. Okay, so he battled through that. Okay, he took his one, and it still floats because he knows San Francisco is trying to be kicking the tail out of him. There's no doubt about it. He wants that game, but he's never had a strong enough team to beat him. And the whole thing about it was just the luck of the draw. But I tell you what, we got a second crack at it. And for those of you who have known me for some time, you listen to me on my podcast, I'll tell you folks, I knew the 49ers were going to make a play for Aaron Rodgers. I just didn't know they were going to make the same play for Trey Lance. Because I knew that Green Bay, they had hit a roadblock, it was over. 49ers need to offer 3 first-rounders. I laid all this out before on the Money Mike's podcast, and I'm laying it all again. 49ers accept Green Bay, Matt LaFleur. I'm telling you, this guy is not screwed tight, okay? You got 3 first-round picks you can get for Rodgers. So what if you're playing in the same division? That's going to help your ball club. They denied the 49ers a trade. Ridiculous. Okay, and what did they do? They got Jordan Love, and what's happening now? I told everybody a long time ago, you should count your blessings. Because with Aaron Rodgers, you can win. And now you're on the line. The general manager in the Packers says we need to execute offense better. Everybody's thinking he's talking about Jordan Love, but he's not. He's talking about LaFleur. LaFleur, you're not getting it done. And it's wearing old and wearing thin. Okay, so moving right along, Aaron Rodgers, a man with a purpose. Boy, he got out of that Green Bay situation. I'm so happy he got to the Jets. And again, he has adversity, but he's going to be back. He's going to be back. He's going to win that Super Bowl. I believe it. I know it. And if you guys don't get it by now, you will see it. But here, let's go with a man with a purpose. I'll take you through the lineup. You know, I had an opportunity to work with Coach Jackson, Pleasant Valley High School. And here's the difference between Jordan and Aaron. It was a very unique difference because Coach Jackson would give Jordan Rodgers a play. And he may not hear it or whatever, he did it, but he'd have to repeat it. And then he said, look, you know what? We're in the middle of the game. He said, well, Aaron, I just give him half the play. Okay, can you understand that? That's half of the play. I've got the rest. That's how his mind works. His mind works different than anybody else. And folks, I'm going to tell you what I mean by a man with a purpose. He knows every player on the defense. He knows them first and last name. He knows every coach on that team. He knows every player's history. This guy is a fanatic when it comes to looking at it. And I'm going to tell you guys another thing. You may not believe this, okay, but I've seen the plays that he's done, and I'm going to tell you, I don't care what Mike McCartney says. Some of that stuff he drew up in the dirt. He got the play call in the helmet. He looked at it. He said, wait a minute. And he said, you do this, you do this, you do this, and I'm going to hit you. That's how he's been playing, folks. And you got to look at that when you have a quarterback with that much knowledge. And regardless if they want to be upset with him, and one thing I always will tell you, 22 guys got to take the field. And I ride with defense. I mean, I'm not analytics with the offense because there's no analytics for defense. You either get it or you don't. Okay? But the thing about it was they lost again and again and again. Even lost a game to Arizona in the playoffs where it was 51-48. Who does that? You put up 48 points, you don't win the game? This is Aaron Rodgers, a man with a purpose. And you got to understand, when you have a purpose in life, everything changes. Okay? When you are chosen, when you are God-gifted, everything changes. You don't go to the back, you move to the front. So he finally got to the Jets. He finally got out of that turmoil in Green Bay, and you see him on Hot Knocks. And folks, if you didn't see it, I mean, he's checking everybody. He's telling the players, hey, you got to run this. Practice not good enough. We're making too many mistakes. And the one thing that caught me is when he checked the offensive coordinator. Okay? You got to look at Hackett. And he looked at Hackett and said, that play's not going to work because that formation won't work. How many coaches can do that? How many players can do that? Okay? I'm not discounting Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy's not even close. You know, he just walks to the line, snap, go, walks to the line, snap, go. Folks, if you look at the good ones, they got to know what's going on out there. And Aaron just points it out. Guys come up, and the play says run a post, any post. Go ahead and take off. And you saw it when he put the headset on. Okay, when he put the headset on, and now he's offensive coordinator, he's calling plays. And he told the guy right away, hit him on the go. Okay, and when you have somebody with a mind like that, that's purpose-driven, nobody can take anything away from you. I mean, you're just moving right along, okay? And I like I told you, I'm never going to speak from analytics. I'm going to speak from experience. Folks, for those of you who haven't been to Lambeau Field, I'll tell you, you got to go, okay? I'll tell you something. There's nothing like going to a football game when it's -5 degrees, okay, and it's 20 below, wind chill. I mean, you can't even walk 100 feet with a cup of coffee. But you know what? I took the journey. And I got there, and I went in there, and then, you know, the ghosts of Lambeau are real, folks. I'm telling you, the ghosts are just everywhere. I mean, you talk about Vince Lombardi, okay? You talk about Horny. You got some real ghosts. When I get up in the building, there's Big Willie Davis, okay? And when you look at that presence, okay, in Green Bay, I mean, it's just unbelievable. But here's the thing. When I went in there and we're going to start the interview and Aaron's coming out, he sees me. We're in the Packer locker room. First thing he says, hey, Mike, how's little Mike doing? Okay? The connection, and I shared that with my son. That was super connection, okay? Because there's nothing